Hello, gents. Coach Stu here for another exciting fireside chat. This week, wait, oh, dang it, I got a phone call coming in. It's that guy, Evil Coach Stu. I probably should answer it. I've ignored his call for the last couple of months. Oh, hey, Evil, how's it going? Not good. Well, when is it ever going good for you? Yeah, I know. I'm not that funny. How can I help you? You want to be in charge of some workouts? Well, I see your point that we need some faster stuff this week. But do you have any ideas? All right. Yeah, send some my way and I'll think about it. All right. Well, I got my fireside chat going on here right now, so I got to get going. No, we've gone over this before. You are not hosting again. Co-hosting? No, no, no. This is a one-man show. I'm sure you have some evil plot to overthrow me. All right? Bye. Jeez, that guy is persistent. Anyway, hey guys, yesterday was a good day at the office at Lakes High School. We got some guys who got some PRs and some great racing experience against some great competition. Our training has been going great, and it's nice to see it pay off for some guys. Remember that this point of the season, it's about getting fit and building the aerobic engine, which sometimes means that our performances aren't quite where we want to be and we're not as sharp yet. Okay. But this week, we'll be starting to make our transition to more evil Coach 2 workouts with race type efforts and starting to hit the anaerobic um, uh, workouts. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. But first, this week's theme is about running the 800. We have a new group of athletes that joined us this week and a new crop of young guys that could use a lesson on how to run it, but mostly strategically and mentally. So here are Coach Stu's tips on how to run the 800. The 800 is usually the most common race that high schoolers race, mostly because there's the individual 800 and then also the relay 4x800. So on an invite day, there would be possibly 6 800 slots open. Now, the 800 is one of the shorter events, but it is a difficult race because it asks both the aerobic and anaerobic systems to work. It requires speed and discipline with proper strategy. We are a program that has had a lot of history of great 4x800 teams and great 800 individual runners. We have a strategy that has been proven to get you to run fast. Here's some things to know about the 800. One, it is high intensity. You will have to get out quickly. More on this later, which means that your body will hit lactic acids much quicker in this race than other distances. You will be required to make moves, counter moves, when your body is burning, all while your body is telling you to stop. Out of all of the distance races, this race hurts the most and will demand focus and a willingness to accept pain. You have to embrace the craziness of the 800. The second thing to know is that pacing errors or tactical errors have more impact than any other race. In the sprint events, there is one strategy. Once the gun goes off, it's go as fast as you can, and it's who's the fastest by the time you finish the finish line. The 800 marks the start of strategy and pacing. Unlike longer distances, which also require strategy and pacing, the 800 punishes you more for the errors you make in the race. Longer distances, you can make up an error over the course of the race. The 800, the error can cost you time, place, and the maximized performance out of your potential. Knowing how to run the 800 is going to be important. So here are Coach Stu's tips on running the 800. The way that we are going to run the 800 is with positive splits. A positive split is when your first half is faster than your second half. Why do we want to run a positive split in this race, but not other distances races? Well, first is energy. The first lap, we have free energy that we can use to our advantage that will allow the first lap or first 400 to go faster than the second 400. The second is position. We want to be in good position at the start of the second lap. If we get out at the right pace, we are in 800-meter shape and we are willing to fight and be competitive, the runners behind you have to pass you. Being ahead is a huge advantage as your competition has to use more energy to pass you. If they are using that energy to pass you earlier, they have to maintain that higher energy for longer than you. So here's a breakdown of how we race the 800. To start off the race, we are going to run the first 8 seconds fast. Why the first 8 seconds, you ask? Well, running at a near sprint for 8 seconds does not produce lactic acids that will affect you later in the race. If that is the case, then why not push the pace? This will put us in good position as we head into the backstretch, which is important when it comes to racing the 800. For the first 200 meters, we will want it to be fast. For it to break down the fastest 200 splits in the 800, the first 200 would be the fastest. Again, everyone is different, so I can't say paces, but for someone that wants to break too flat, a 28-29 is ideal. For the next 200, it's about running controlled and settling in. This doesn't mean we slow down a bunch, but it also means that we want to conserve our energy for lap 2. Because of how we started, our first lap is going to be faster than our second lap, a positive split. Like I said before, studies have shown that to run the fastest 800, you will need to get out faster in the first lap than the second. What is an optimal time for your first 400? Take your fastest 400 time and have it about 3 to 5 seconds slower than that. So if your PR is a 53 in the 400, you should try to get out sometime in between 57 to 58 seconds. If you are not a 400 meter runner, that's where we will do a little bit of trial and error based off what we've seen in practices. The second lap, we typically want it to be a little bit slower than 2 to 3 seconds than your first 400. Okay. If it's slower than 3 seconds, then that tells us that we got out too fast. All right. So we've come through the first lap. We will now focus on the next 200. Okay. When we get to the back stretch, we now separate from the boys to the men and from the decent to the best. This is when the lactic acids start to hit our bodies. But this is also the time that people start to go. With our aerobic fitness, I will want you guys to make a move. What does making a move mean? It means we need to pick up the pace. Our minds will feel like we are going fast, but our bodies are actually slowing down as the lactic acids are hitting our bodies. The competition is going to accelerate, and we are going to have to go with them. It's important to know that this doesn't mean sprint. A 300-meter sprint would be epic, but we will go down in flames before the race is over. Instead, we'll have to stay with the pack or move past those that aren't as fit as we are. The third 200 is in many ways the most important phase of the 800. This is where the intensity needs to be brought. We will maintain this acceleration through the third 200 into the last 200. To me, we want to start our kick with about 120 meters left, and that's where we're going to let it all hang out. The final straightaway is all about guts, and most importantly, it's about form. It's important to practice good form here. How we look at the end of the race will determine how fast we run. You have to make sure that you are finishing all the way through the line. People will be charging for you that are behind you in the 800. Tenths of a second are more important than any other distance. And boom, that is the 800. All right. So now let's take a look at our schedule for this week, which will be very chaotic this week. With our meet at Homewood Flossmoor, there are going to be people doing workouts on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then we're also going to be introducing now more focused training depending on which group you will want to be in. More on that later this week about which group you will be in. Okay. We will have 3 groups going. Some of you guys might be doing your workouts on Tuesday. Some of you will be doing your workouts on Wednesday, depending on where you will be racing, or if you are racing this week. Okay. 1632 guys, you guys will be doing 3 to 4 sets of 800, 400. 800 will be at 2 mile pace, 400 at mile pace. The 816 group, you guys will be doing 2 sets of 600, 400, 500, 400 at mile pace, 300, 200 at 800 pace. Okay. And hybrid, you guys will be doing 5 by 300s at 800 pace, 4 by 150s at 400 pace. If you are racing on Friday, you guys will be having your race simulations on Thursday. Friday, race day. If you guys are not racing, you guys will be having your own practice. Racing, or I'm sorry, 5 to 9 miles easy. Saturday, we will be having practice right now at 10 a.m. If you did not race, you guys will be doing a acceleration workout. Okay, more on that later this week, as there's a lot that I need to explain. We are expected to get some snow on Friday. If we do get snow and the track is unclearable, we will probably have a long run on Saturday and move this acceleration workout to Monday. Sunday, as typical fashion, is going to be our long run if it is not done on Sunday. Remember, our program, in order to be a successful distance runner, you have to be getting at least a 10-mile long run. If we're not building up to that, we are not doing the right thing with our long run. All right. So there we have it. Thank you guys for always working hard. It's a pleasure to come to practice every day and knowing that I'm going to get the most out of my athletes. Let's have a great week and continue to work hard. Coach Stu, over and out.